Hey everybody, welcome to Enliven Wellness. My name is Tessa and I am an integrative medicine practitioner in training, 2 classes away from my master's, to tell you about what is POTS and 5, its causes, and 5 things that I'm doing to recover from this condition. So what is POTS? No, it's not like a pot and pan. It is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Now, what in the heck blah, blah, blah is this? So essentially what POTS is an autonomic nervous system dysfunction. All right, and so basically what happens in POTS is, and it's also known as dysautonomia, it's a dysautonomia condition, which means it's a dysfunction in your autonomic nervous system, which is the nervous system responsible for things like blood pressure, blood volume, your rest and digest. It's the autonomic nervous system, so it's a dysfunction in that part of your nervous system. Now, when you have POTS, what happens is, normally, when somebody goes from sitting or lying to standing, the blood in your body, like your gravity and then your heart rate starts to force the blood to come up from the lower extremities up into your upper body so that your heart can have enough blood to pump it through the rest of your body. What happens in POTS is that the blood actually pools in the lower extremities and then your heart doesn't have enough blood, and so it starts to pump and beat really, really fast to improve circulation throughout your body. And that can cause a whole host of symptoms, including, but not limited to, dizziness, constipation, diarrhea, severe heart palpitations, lightheadedness, nausea, sleep disturbances, fatigue, shortness of breath, panicky feelings, anxiety, shaking, exercise intolerance. There's a huge long list of symptoms that are associated, but those are just some of them. Now, the way that you can usually tell that this is happening to you is a simple at-home test, which I will link in the description box down below. You can do it at home. It's just going to take you about 15 minutes, and all you need is a piece of paper, a pencil, a timer, and if you need somebody to actually assist you when you're standing up, have that, or some kind of stabilizer. But I'll link that down below and I'll go over it really quickly in this video. But what happens in POTS is, again, when you go from sitting or lying to standing, and then the blood actually is pooling in your lower extremities, and your heart starts to beat really, really fast to improve that circulation. That's what causes all of these symptoms. Now, the way that you can tell, and here's just a brief rundown of the test. What you would do is you would lay down nice and still for about 5 minutes and take your pulse. Okay, and you're gonna take your pulse for 1 minute. Write down that number. And then you'll slowly come up to seated, take about just a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and then stand up. And then you're going to take your pulse after 2 minutes. So you're gonna stand up, set that timer, take your pulse for 2 minutes, record that number. And then you're going to take your pulse again at 5 minutes, record that number. And then you're going to take your pulse again at 10 minutes, record that number. Again, if you're having trouble standing, do have some kind of support near you so that you don't fall over. Be safe. All right, but then you need to take the pulses for 1 minute at each one of those intervals, and then notice if your heart rate has increased by 30 beats per minute more after you've been standing for a sustained amount of time. Look at the maximum heart rate that you had over those three intervals at 2, 5, and 10 minutes. And if the number that you had at the highest exceeds your lying heart rate, so the one that you took when you were laying down, by 30 beats per minute, then you definitely probably have a POTS situation going on. Also, if your heart rate exceeds 120 beats per minute when you stand, chances are you could have POTS. Again, I can't diagnose anything. This is just a self-test that I will link down below. But so that's one way that you can tell if you have POTS for sure. Also, I'll get to the causes here right now. So POTS, let me be very clear. POTS is not the thing. POTS is a symptom of something else going on. So you don't necessarily want to focus on the POTS. You need to focus on what the underlying cause is. Got it? Now, some of the underlying causes are infections. Epstein-Barr, Lyme, mold, parasites like biotoxin illness. So infections can be one of the causes of POTS. Also, you can have vitamin and mineral deficiencies. You can also have autoimmune conditions that can cause POTS-related symptoms. So you can also have diabetes. There's a number of different underlying causes that cause the symptoms of POTS. So in order to get better from POTS, you actually need to focus on the underlying cause to improve your symptoms. And this is exactly what I have been doing. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story just really quick. I used to definitely have this really, really bad, and I have a standing desk, and I would be like, when I was living in my moldy apartment, and I would suddenly I would have really bad heart palpitations when I was standing at my standing desk at times, and I wouldn't be able to really focus, and I would have high anxiety, and I would feel like I just needed to collapse. I was like, I just can't. I just can't. And I'm an athlete, guys, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I also started having exercise intolerance, which never had happened in the history of ever before. So I had some exercise intolerance, and again, I would just feel like my knees would just need to collapse, and I was like, I just can't stand up anymore. I wouldn't be able to breathe. I'd have shortness of breath. I would just be really panicky when I would be standing for too long, and it was just too much, and I would have to just hit the floor. It was bad. So what are 5 things that I have been doing to help myself recover? That's what I'll share with you now. 1 is I've been correcting those vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Things like celery juice honestly really help because they help give your body electrolytes. Which will help your body with blood circulation and nerve impulses. It's really important to have a good electrolyte balance. Plus, it provides really good vitamins and minerals. I also use clays for remineralization. So I've been really working on my vitamin and mineral deficiencies as well, working on stomach acid, so that I can absorb those vitamins and minerals. So thing number 1 is I've definitely been focusing on replenishing my vitamins and minerals naturally. Number 2, I have also been working on the underlying infections. And I use that primarily through something called MMS, which is my favorite thing. And I know it's really controversial. I love MMS. If you have any questions about it, please email me. I just am cautious about what I say. So, please email me if you're interested in MMS. So I've been focusing on the underlying infections of things like MMS, clays, detox baths, different things to just cleanse my body of underlying infections. Because I was diagnosed with Lyme, Epstein-Barr, I had exposure to Tachycardia and mold, lots of different diagnoses. If you haven't, seen my whole list, watch one of my other videos. But so taking care of the underlying conditions. Also, I haven't been diagnosed with autoimmune condition, but I've kind of suspected possibly there was something there. So I've also been addressing this with certain diet things, like diet interventions. I personally do well with a raw primal carnivore keto diet. I'm not saying everybody needs this, but it is really, really helpful for me. And again, I think that there's a time and place for fruits and vegetables. I'll get into that later. But, it's seasonal for sure. I still think that veg and fruit are fine. I think that humans are supposed to be eating those in moderation. I get off on a tangent. Anyway, so please know I'm not anti any sort of dietary approach. I just personally am doing really well with the raw primal diet. It's helped my life immensely. It could help yours as well. And this really helped a lot of my symptoms of POTS. Very interesting. So looking at the potential autoimmune condition, underlying. So I'm addressing that in different ways, like not taking too many immune stimulants, doing immune modulation, dietary approaches, and this is helping my symptoms. So I'm not quite sure of the underlying mechanism, but it's helping. All right, number 4 is that I am doing really deep relaxation techniques. Okay? At night, I really focus on lots of deep relaxation because POTS is a problem with your autonomic nervous system, and there is a dysfunction between your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous systems. It's a dysfunction in that autonomic nervous system. So you need to re-regulate and rebalance your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. And one of the ways that I'm doing this is to really, really relax at night. And alternatively, work on my sympathetic nervous system with things like exercise. So actually, I'm gonna give you 6 things that I've been doing. Another thing that I've been doing a lot of is focusing on my fitness and cardio in particular. So this is actually thing number 5. So cardio and exercise for sure. Now, if you're like really exercise intolerant, you've got to start very, very slow, very low and go slow, but you need to build up a good aerobic capacity and a good anaerobic capacity. So you need to do easy peasy cardio, and then sometimes you need to really crank it out. Even if in the beginning you're just doing like 5 minutes of like going really hard for 30 seconds and then slowing down, like baby steps, y'all. So that's another thing that's been helping me a lot. All right, and then number 6, I'm like, yay! Number 6 is breath work. I do particular breathing techniques like Wim Hof, Kapalabhati, deep belly breathing at night, different breathing techniques when I'm standing up. Like I take a moment and I take some deep breaths. Okay, there's different breathing exercises that I've been doing to also help with my symptoms. And sorry, my cat is like trying to rub up on the hi. So those are just 6 of the things that I've been doing. There's other things that I have also been doing, and but these are just 6 of them. And I really hope that this video was helpful, because I know a lot of y'all are probably like, what the hell is POTS? Like, how do I diagnose it on myself? Like, there's that simple at-home test. You need to go to a doctor if you really want a formal diagnosis, but that is a really good diagnosis that you can use on yourself. And there's some underlying causes that I gave to you. Make sure that you are looking at the underlying cause. Try out some of these 6 things, and if you would like more coaching and you're like, bing, 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 this sounds like me, please reach out at tgirly7@gmail.com and say, I'm ready, and I will definitely like lead you through, and like we can build plans, and I can teach you the things that have been helping me to recover on a deeper level, and help build you like diet plans. And I mean, because I know this condition is crazy and it feels crazy. So please reach out, and also check out my website, Enliven-Wellness.com, and follow me on social media, Enliven Wellness on Facebook, and at Enlivened_1 on Instagram. So thank you for being here. I do go live often. On Tuesday nights, I always go live around 8 or 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for Ask Me Anything Tuesdays. But please subscribe and comment and like, share these videos. I love you all so much, and thank you for being here. Okay, bye.